and welcome to the Malden Zone. My name is Karen Cologne Hayes, and I'll be your host for tonight. But before we begin, I'd like to wish everyone a happy first day of spring. Even though it doesn't look like it or feel like it outside, there are some signs that spring is coming. And one of them is our director of the DPW, Bob Knox, has told me that the swings are up at our local parks. And actually, what he really said was the swings are up at our local parks, as Bob Knox likes to say, I like to tease him about. Also, the spring sports sign-ups are happening, and that means that the Hayes House will be filled with soccer. And last but not least, the Mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program applications are out and available. So the Mayor's Youth Employment Program is going to be the hot topic for tonight. And as most of you know, the Mayor's office has been hosting the Malden Zone for the past few months. And the last time I hosted it, I had on community member leaders from our local organizations and nonprofits. And this time I'm going to have on some leaders who work with our local youth. And tonight, and before we begin though, actually I would like to update you on a few of the new things that are happening with our program. New this year, you can apply online at www.cityofmalden.org, and to the left of the page you'll see a employment icon, and you can click on that, and then up comes the application, and you can fill it out online. And we strongly suggest that you use this option, and it's very easy to fill out. If you don't have a computer, you can go to Malden High School, to the Malden Teen Enrichment Center, to the library, and as a last resort, you can always pick up a paper copy at the Mayor's office, 6th floor at City Hall. But again, we really strongly recommend that you do it online. Also, on this link, you'll find a frequently asked question page. Please take a look at that page and read it thoroughly before you call us with questions, because we really took our time and it answers a lot of the questions that you probably will have. And we also this year began our application process very early so that we can take our time processing them, reading through them, and taking our time making placements and going through the whole hiring process. Make sure you take your time, students, on your personal statement page, because that is really what we look at when we're going through this on our committee. And also we have room if you're a business, local community organization, a school, a college, you can become a work site at zero cost to you. And everything's vetted through the city. We pay them through the city, and all this information is at the Mayor's office. You can give me a call and I can explain that to you. As a work site, you'll have the opportunity to expand your staff and to do all those projects that you've probably been putting off because they take too much time, you don't have time to get to them. So the good thing is you can hire our youth, and again, the city is paying for them, and your company can have all the advantages and benefits. Last year, a lot of the local organizations in the community saved thousands of dollars by hiring our youth. So we're going to learn more about that and talk more about that tonight, and I'm happy to be joined by the rest of the show. We're going to have Jose Mendez, the Director of the Youth and Family Services at the YMCA, Ron Janowitz, the Director of the Summer Schools Program at Malden High School, Kelly Collum, the Internship Coordinator at the Pathways Program, Malden High, Pat Laidley, the Transition Coordinator for Malden High School, Manjula Karamchetty, the Director of Guidance, and I saved the best for last. We're going to have two really great Malden High School students, Corey Malone and Alan Delva. But first, I'd like to thank Frank Matuccio and MATV for providing this opportunity. So let's get to our first guest. Tonight we have with us Pat Laidley, who is the Transition Coordinator for Malden High School. Welcome. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you. So let's start first. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you do at Malden High in the internship program?
Absolutely. I'm a part of a 3-person team at Malden High School. We comprise the transition team. Our roles are quite diverse, but yet quite similar in many ways. We work with our students to help them sort of solidify their post-secondary vision. For many of our students, it might be the world of work. For others, college, trade school, and for a few, the military, or maybe quite possibly a gap year working with an organization like City Year.
Oh, great. I didn't realize you did in the military. That's great.
Well, for many of our
Yeah.
students, that's something that they're interested in, and we just need to make sure
Yeah.
that they educate themselves as best that they can so they make a educated decision in that process.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, as you know, because we've been working together, our mayor is very involved in our youth here in Malden, which is great. It's great for me because I get to meet, the wonderful people who are working with our youth and our students, such as yourself. And last year, you came to us and we were able to place some at City Hall. So how do you think that worked out? Like, did the kids enjoy being at City Hall?
I have to say that there's a great energy going on right now at the high school. We have approximately 140 seniors that have put forth senior internship proposals to be read by the committee. They range from, we have 8 young men and young women queuing for hopefully an internship at City Hall. We have many that are with local partners within our community, and others that have chosen to go into Boston. We have one young woman that will be working with Senator Clark. We have 2 young women that will be working with the Make-A-Wish organization in Boston. It's as diverse as their vision has taken them.
That's great. I love having the kids there too. Again, that was the first time that we did that last year, and it actually gave us a little bit of a look at what was going to happen for the summer youth employment program, because we weren't really sure, what to expect. But the interns that you sent over were great, and so placing them, I think you do a really good job. Like, do you take into consideration their skills, and do they get to ask what jobs that they want to be placed at?
I think we started very early this year in November. We started to discuss with the seniors through the senior homeroom about the internship program so that they had a thorough understanding of what was coming their way right after winter break. Like I said, there has been that energy. There's been many very good qualifying, clarifying questions that they've asked of us. Ms. Rosino and I are the co-coordinators for the senior internship program, but we have the support of our high school, the administration, and then the city at large, the mayor's office.
Yeah,
and
it's been
yourself.
great. It's been great. Actually, I did. It was good working with you because then I kind of roped you into helping us on the committee to help us place, students. How do you think this prepares kids for later on in life, like doing?
I think if you look at the senior internship, it gives them an opportunity for 5 weeks to go out into the workplace, to look at possibly a career path. And for some students, they're just exploring an option to see whether or not they want to pursue it in college. For many of our students, it's their first step in the working world. They have yet maybe to secure a job, nor maybe have had the time to actually be employed. So for our students, they come back with the opportunity to sometimes secure their first job. Some internship sites turn into paid employment upon conclusion of their internship, which is quite wonderful.
That is great. Actually, I think some of the interns came back and might have applied for the summer youth employment program as well. So that was good because we got to, see what they could do. And maybe,
Absolutely.
And then there's I think I remember, was there a fair or something that they presented their project at?
There's a senior internship exhibit that takes place at the end of May. The students then have the opportunity to discuss their internship. They have an opportunity to share with the administration, the students, parents, and friends that come in from the community. It's just an energizing time because you have 100 plus seniors and their family and the friends and the students. It's also a nice opportunity for the current juniors to see what's coming their way. They sometimes shop those displays looking for where they would like to go. We had one young man specifically ask for an internship at the mayor's office, or I should say City Hall, with a specific person based on the recommendation of last year's intern.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I won't ask you who that was. That's
I
great.
can tell you it was in the special education department.
Oh, excellent. Oh, good. I'm glad. It's really definitely been a great opportunity working with the kids, and I didn't realize that this was going to be a part of my position here. Being out in the community outreach, and I've been so pleased to be able to get to know the people at Malden High and the kids there. And do other high schools in Malden do something like this?
This internship program was brought to us through Michelle Magner, who was the internship coordinator in the very beginning. She witnessed this program at another high school, saw the energy that it brought forth for the students, displayed the opportunities to the administrative team. They embraced, and it's now in, multiple years.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I'm finding in the program for the summer, it's hard to find job sites, and I know that you have a lot of them. How many do you think job sites that you have?
In terms of our openings, or
Yes, yeah, like places around? And is it just in Malden?
Just for the senior internship?
Yeah.
I think right now we probably have, I would say, over 100. Our K-8 schools take in many of our interns. The students are very excited to give back to the school that they once attended.
Yeah,
We
I
find
bet.
many of the students are going back to their favorite art teacher, their favorite gym teacher, science teacher, because they really want to literally give back.
Right.
Others are going to organizations like Playful Paws. We have one young man going over to work at Playful Paws. So it's very, very vast.
Right. Now, do the kids have to meet a certain criteria to be in there? Like, do their grades have to be?
Absolutely.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
They need to be in solid academic standing. They need to be passing all their core courses for graduation. They have to put together a very thorough and thoughtful proposal stating what are their goals and objectives, basically, about being able to be granted the opportunity to go out on internship. They have to have both house principal and guidance approval along with all of their academic teachers. So it's quite
Yeah,
intense.
It is. Yeah, and they start filling out their applications early, like you said. So.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's what I like to take from you is I was looking to you how you place them and how you kind of match that and your application process. So you did a lot of help with that. Some of the things, if you could let people know how you helped us volunteering on this committee, because that's also another thing. Most of the people that we asked here tonight were because you helped volunteer on the committee. So do you feel like doing the internship brought a lot of what you did, was it helpful?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think just working with youth in the opportunity of how do you put together a personal statement? How do
Oh,
you
that's
fill
true.
out an application? When an application calls for specific criteria, before you hand something in, have you met the criteria of the application? So I think whether it be senior internship or the mayor's youth
Yes.
program, you have to know how to follow directions.
That's right.
And
that
if you're
actually
applying
was
for
your
a job,
that was the biggest help. Now that you said that, I'm like, that's true. That is how, with the personal statements, you were very helpful on that, probably because you do that a lot with the interns. And even at the teen center, that was a great little kind of impromptu little lesson you gave to everybody
thank
there,
you.
because I don't think kids understand what goes into a personal statement, or they're just trying to, quickly write that out. So that's why I'm trying to stress, take your time with that and really write down what you're doing and be careful about it and proof it. And I think you were good explaining that.
Thank you. I mean, I think sometimes students have a hard time sort of bragging about themselves and the things
Yeah.
that they've done. So it's okay.
Right.
And I think with our support and telling them,
yeah,
they do
get
a
it.
nice job.
Now, have you had people coming? I think you offered up your services, which was
did.
great, as did many of the other guests that we have tonight, to personally help kids. Have they come to you?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
They have.
Yeah.
They want to ensure that they're handing in an application that is thorough, that it highlights their attributes in a positive light, and they want the job. They want to have the opportunity to secure that job. So they want to make sure that they're doing everything they can to
Yeah.
hopefully obtain that job.
So I've seen what they've been coming in, getting better and better. I've been kind of randomly checking them as they come in. And actually, just as a point of, I don't know if I've told you this, it's been maybe 2 weeks they've been out there. I think we've hit 200. So we have 200 applications in. And from day one to now, I've seen the personal statements go from a couple of words to pages. And some have been funny, and some have been, just straight and to the point. So I don't know what kind of advice you guys are giving them, but it's working.
I think many staff people have devised templates to help the students with the writing process, so a little bit of a graphic organizer,
Oh.
so that in that way that they don't miss anything that they would like to share with the committee. I think
Oh,
that's
right.
the key. And utilizing that graphic organizer, a template, has helped them tremendously.
Yeah, that's actually good. We tried to put on to give them a little hints, list your hobbies,
Absolutely.
list that. And resumes. Have you had people asking you for help with resumes? I think it's only 18 and up. I don't
Constantly
remember now.
utilize
Oh, yeah.
that component.
All right. Yeah, that's great. And, I've been just, so thankful for all that you've done and coming in and helping and volunteering. I've learned so much from working with all of you. And so, we'll be talking more with the, people here that have been working with us. And tonight, I think when we come back from break right now, we're going to be talking with Ron Janowitz and Kelly Collum from Malden High School's summer programs and pathway programs. Thank you so much
Thank
again
you.
for coming out. want to extend a warm welcome to Kelly Collum and Ron Janowitz. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for inviting us.
Oh, you're very welcome, from Malden High School. So one of the best things, and I was saying with Kat, is definitely been getting to know the people at Malden High, and certainly the both of you. And last year, you both really stepped up right from the beginning when I was kind of spinning my wheels, not really sure where to go with this. And it was really great that you guys came out and helped us out. And Ron, you took a lot of kids last year at the summer school program. So can you tell me a little bit about how you hired and how your program was?
We had quite a few students in summer school. Okay, this year we had a total of 160 students at Malden High School Summer School. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And we wanted to ensure these students have a quality education. So I remember talking to Kelly, and that you were hiring students through the mayor's office for the summertime. She says, hey, we can get some of those people in the summertime to come down and help out. And so, talked with you, we came down, and we hired 18 students to work in the summer school program as tutors.
Wow.
I'll tell you, it was a big help. Helped students get by. Tutors were here from 7:30 to 2:30. They worked on a flexible schedule. Some were here from 7:30 to 12. Some were here from 9:30 to 2:30. And what those students did, they did a remarkable job. They worked one-on-one with students who had a difficult time in some of their classes. And so, out of 160 students who took a total of 240 courses, 52 of those students moved on to the next grade. And out of those 52 students moving on to the next grade, 26 graduated with a Malden High School diploma.
Oh.
And out of those 26, 24 of those students utilized tutoring services, which was great. And it was a big help. And some of the students had a difficult time in summer school, and those students who had a tough time in summer school stayed an additional 2 weeks with the tutors so they get past their courses and moved on.
Oh,
And they did. So we had a 99.9% successful rate of students passing courses in summer school. And that was thankful to the mayor's office providing us with tutors.
Oh.
And that was great.
That's great to hear. I remember you telling us about that. We came in sometimes to check in, see how we were doing, and you were telling us, showing us, kids whose grades were going up as you were in there. I remember that. That was a really great thing. And 18 kids was very helpful to us. I know Kelly did a great job of kept pushing more students on people because we needed, some placements. So, but you guys were great with taking them. And so how did you know? There was a big process last year, and I know that we all went through a lot of the applications, but did you specifically look, and I can't remember how that worked, or if you looked at the application, you knew kids, like I'm assuming kids who would be tutors have to have a certain grade average. Like, did that get to come into consideration, or you just knew the kids?
Some of the kids we knew already in the past. Some of the students attended college, and during the interview process, we talked with students and see what they could do, see what their majors were in college. Some were math majors, some were English majors, which would be great because 80% of the courses that students take in summer school are math and English. So that was a big help right there during the interview process. That played a big part. Also, besides, we also had some students, 3 students who worked in the PACE program. And later on, I could talk a little bit more about it, 10 students who served as mentors in Project Connect in the summertime. So all told, we had a total of 31 students who worked in the summer school program, which was great. It was a big help.
Yeah, you can do it again this year?
We're going to do it again,
All
and we hope this year we can get more than 18 students in the summer school program.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So, yeah, kids out there, you want to put that on your resumes or your personal statements. If maybe if you wanted to be a tutor, you might want to just put that out there. So that'd be good to know. So,
Right.
And tutoring, they're not teaching classes, it's all one-on-one, so you get to work one-on-one with a student who needs some extra help.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So that's great. And I met Kelly last year also during the process of taking our program that last year I think hired, the previous year, maybe 120, I want to say 130, to 335 kids. And we spent many late nights, sometimes
we
at 10
did.
o'clock at night,
Yes.
working together. So I always just thought that was great. And we did just first meet, like, what made you do something like that? What was the passion? Like, what drove that?
Well, in thinking about the way that the labor market is going for youth today and the way that job hiring is going, it's just so important that young people have early educational experiences and also have early work experiences so that they're more marketable and hireable later on as they move through life.
But if you think about the way that the labor market has changed, you know, when I was younger, it used to be something where you would go from high school to college and then your career, and there were a lot of jobs out there. Over the past couple of decades, things have changed radically, and then even things have accelerated even quicker with the recent recession. Now you have students that are going to school. The average age of graduating with a bachelor's degree is 28 years old. You have students, on average, working 30 hours a week while they're going to college. So they need to have those entry-level work skills, the soft skills, the hard skills. You have people that are going to school, and only 25% of them are full-time residential live-in students. So with that shift, you need to make sure that students and young people get those experiences early so that they can work when they're in college, so they can develop these skills and they can develop those references. Even if you look at the statistics that are out there now, 80% of people get their jobs through personal references, through recommendations from former employers, from other things that they're doing.
Did you say people or youth get their?
Youth. People in general.
Yeah.
People in general.
I would bet that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm glad that you came with some, because you were talking to me about them. No, I want to hear some more. Absolutely.
You want some more?
Absolutely.
Okay. So 8 out of 100 people get their bachelor's degree between the ages of 18 to 22. So again, it's talking about really extending that labor market and the need to be able to work while you're still in college, to either pay for your college or to support yourself while you're still there. If you're looking at the labor market right now, again, like I said before, 80% of the jobs are gotten through personal references for everybody. But when you poll companies and when you poll employers at this point, what are they looking for in an entry-level worker coming in? They're looking at these things called soft skills. And soft skills are, can you get to work on time? Can you communicate effectively in writing and in speaking and all the other things?
Kids didn't have them. And we all know that because we had to pull some in and talk to them about that. So that's great to know. And then we do know that they are, learning that in this program, which is good. And
I think the way that
help with that.
The way that you structured it too, as Mrs. Laidley was talking about before, with the application process, the personal statement, going through an interview, it really mirrors what really needs to happen in order to get a job and then to keep a job.
That's true. Actually, that alone gives you some soft skills, and I know that people were a little at first they were not sure about writing that out. That's the first time they had to do that for our job. So it will help them in the future, but I think at first they were kind of like, wow, this is a lot of stuff to fill out. But the programs were great, and I do want to talk about, I want to make sure we have some time to talk about, it's Project Connect, right? Because that was probably one of the most impressive things for me to watch. We came and you gave a presentation about that. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was?
Yes, well, it's a very new program we started last year. Basically, it started, we have quite a few 8th graders coming to 9th grade in pathways. And transitioning from the 8th grade to 9th grade, that can be very difficult. And so we try to smooth that transition to make it a little bit easier for students moving up to high school from the 8th grade. And so I talked with Kelly and Marie Dola, who's our school adjustment counselor, and applied for a grant to the Department of Education, and we received the grant. And so what we were able to do was set up a program, 5 weeks in length, and to transition kids from 8th grade to 9th grade. But we did this in part through the mayor's office, because we were able to hire 10 mentors to work with 10 middle school students. So that worked out great.
Yeah.
And this year, I'm telling you, we talk about a lot at our meetings, that with the transition time really helped a lot. But this year, we're taking it one step further. We're doing a one step further, which is
just
something.
Fresh off the press. I didn't
Yep,
know that.
fresh off the press. This is brand new. And what we started this year is a liaison program for parents. It's tough for parents whose sons and daughters are moving up into high school. So we started a parents group as part of this grant this year, that we're helping parents transition from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. And so we're using parents, not using, but we having parents come to meetings who are helping the transition between 8th and 9th grade with students. So high school
That's
parents are
great.
helping middle school parents.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that's something a little bit different, so we're starting that this year too.
Okay. Well, I think Again, that was a great program, and I can't wait to hear more about
Yeah,
that and
fun.
help you with that program. And I'm one of those parents, so thank you for doing that. My child's going from 8th to 9th grade, so
Great.
that's great.
Can I add one more thing?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You had mentioned before, what can students do to get a job at tutoring?
Okay.
Best thing they can do is to get a recommendation from their teacher. You may be a senior, a junior, a sophomore who's good at math. If you get a recommendation from your teacher, that holds a lot of water. Also, a recommendation from the house principal would help too. So those two things would help
Okay.
this year with students who want to do tutoring at the high school summer school.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. I want to thank you both for coming out here tonight, and thank you for all of your great help that you do for our kids here in Malden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Our next guest is Jose Mendez. So he's the director of the Youth and Family Services at the YMCA. Thank you for coming out tonight, Jose.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. And so why don't you start off a little bit, just tell us briefly about what your job entails at the YMCA.
Well, it kind of entails a lot of things, but any kind of programming for youth and families is what I'm responsible for. So everything from Healthy Kids Day to summer camp, I'm there.
Great. And I know you were a great help, just like the rest of everybody else here last year. You were one of people who stepped up and helped us placing our kids. And this year you're going to do the same thing. And we work on a few things together, but we're definitely on the Mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program. You helped last year. You actually hired a lot of kids too. How many kids would you say that you hired?
I think the Y as a whole hired about 20 to 25 kids, and then my camp in particular had about 9 or 10 of those kids.
No, that's great. And one of the statistics, I know that you've said it before, but I just like people to hear it so that they know that this program goes both ways. Not only are we giving youth a job, but we're helping community organizations. So are you able to say, like, do you think about roughly what we saved?
Sure.
Okay.
No, absolutely. So because of this program and because the city was able to pay these kids to work at the camp, what I'm able to do with that savings is turn around and give that right back to the community. So in essence, we saved approximately $10,000, and we're able to turn around and give that right back to the community in form of scholarships for camp. So I mean, you can imagine how many kids got to enjoy summer camp and have that opportunity because the city gave this opportunity to the Y.
Yeah, and that's great. I think you were probably one of the few people who gave us those stats, and we weren't actually even aware of that portion of it. We were so you know, just trying so hard to have the kids get jobs and focus on them that we didn't realize it was having this other great benefit out in the community. So thank you for keeping those stats. That's great. And now probably the biggest thing that you're going to help us with this summer, well actually it's before the summer and the spring, is the work readiness program. And this I think is just going to be a great thing. So I'm going to work with you on it, but if you could explain a little bit about why we're doing that and what it is first, and then we'll talk about why we're doing it.
Sure. The Work Readiness Program is basically a 17-hour evaluation. You can consider it kind of an extended trial interview. And what we're going to be doing with the teens is really is two parts. One is evaluating where they're at, where their skills are, soft skills in particular. I know one of your other guests mentioned those. Evaluating those soft skills, and then evaluating whether or not they're really ready to watch over another child. I think most of it is just going to be kind of reviewing, you know, whether or not they can be on time, whether or not they can work with a team, how well they communicate with other kids. And so going through this process, they're going to be able to develop those skills, be evaluated on where they're at right now, where they need to take those skills, and then of course get a certificate at the end of it for completing this course and then being able to add that to their resume.
Yeah, that's going to be a great help. And last year, we didn't realize this. Again, it was our first year at expanding it so much that kids should know, when they're working with other kids, there's a specialty that they need to learn. And sometimes we were placing kids, and sometimes they don't even know that they don't want to necessarily work with kids. So this year we added you check off if you want to work with kids, and then you're mandated to take this program. And it sounds, I don't want it to sound daunting, because this is really a helpful thing. It will, they will go confidently, right, to their next job.
That's right. And what it's going to provide them is just a certain level of confidence and skill, and building their repertoire of games and just knowledgeability about how different age groups are developmentally different, and how they should approach those age groups, and how they should interact with those age groups, and why they should be interacting with them. And so, I think a lot of people kind of take summer camp jobs as kind of a fun thing to do, which it is, but at the same time, it's a very serious responsibility.
Right.
Parents are entrusting their most precious possessions to camps during the summertime. And we need to make sure that the people that are watching their kids and helping them do these activities are trained in a way that are going to make sure that they're kept safe and are helped to develop and grow throughout the summer.
That's right, and I love it. I think you showed us a little bit about the program. So it's a 3-day program, right?
Oh, it's 4 days, actually.
4 days,
right,
okay.
yeah.
At the Y. How long is each day?
So for the first 3 days, we go over about 3 hours, and the last day is a full 8 hours. And so the first 3 days, what we're going to be doing is going over some basic summer camp etiquette, basic summer camp rules, some kind of common sense items that every summer camp will have to follow in regards to safety, in regards to transitions, in regards to what you do when there's an emergency. Very common sense things, and we're also going to be building up their game repertoire, so it's going to be fun too. We're going to play a lot of games that are developmentally appropriate for different ages, and we're going to work them through about 5 years old to about 12 years old. And the last day is going to go a full 8 hours, so they can go from start to finish and feel what a camp day is really like. So by the end of it, they can really kind of assess, this is really for me, I love this, I really want to do this, and I really want to take on that responsibility. Or they can say, you know what, I had a good experience, I learned a lot, but I think I might want to go somewhere else and to continue my development for the summer.
That's true, and that's a great part of that, because again, like we were saying, sometimes kids in the middle of the program realize, oh, I really don't like working with kids, and then we had a problem. Now, normally, you need to know too that I don't switch once you're in your place at a job site. I don't switch unless there was like something major going on. So we had to help them through that, but it would be tremendously helpful to both the person and the work site if they knew that before going in. And also, this is a free program that you're offering, which is just a tremendous gift that you've given these kids, really.
That's right. And one of the YMCA's areas of focus is youth development and social responsibility. And so this hits two of the areas of focus for us: youth development, that's nurturing the potential of every child and teen. For us, being able to have the opportunity to nurture these teens and develop their resumes and develop them professionally and personally hits that area of focus 100%. Yeah. The social responsibility piece is being able to train these kids so that when not necessarily that they get placed with the YMCA, but if they get placed with another summer camp, they are ready, they're prepared, they're trained, and they're ready to bring those skills and knowledge to any summer camp in Malden or beyond, and they're ready to go, and their representative at the Y has trained them in a way that's efficient and will make sure that the kids are safe and having fun.
Right. I think, and we were, talking about this too. I think I told you that I was looking into some programs for my daughter, and it cost a tremendous amount of money.
Right,
so I can't stress enough what a gift this really is, because I know there might be some kids thinking, oh, I can't believe, why do I have to do this extra work? And we have to be prepared that we may hear that from some kids. And I think you've been contacted by a few already.
That's right.
Okay, because an email went out. Anyone who signed up for the summer youth employment, checked off the box saying that they want to work with kids, got an email saying, contact Jose Mendez or contact myself, and I will put you, through to you to take these training courses. So the first one is starting, remember, it's in March.
So March 27th.
Okay,
Yep.
and then there's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of them, March 27th, and then the one the week after, and then we go into late May, going to early April, and potentially there might be another week depending on how many kids sign up for the program and what we feel the needs are for all the applicants. But I think it's just going to be a tremendous opportunity, and again, hits that social responsibility piece. We want to make sure, regardless of what summer camp they work at, where they go to, that they're keeping the kids safe, and that's our primary objective. Yeah.
And this program you did for anybody that works for the Y, it's mandatory. So you've done this before. This
That's
is the first
correct.
time you're opening it.
That's correct.
Us.
Yeah. Last year we did kind of a softened version of what we're doing this year, and we just felt that it was the best way to kind of assess, again, where that skill level was for the applicants that were coming into the program. So no matter what, whether you're Sam from Timbuktu wanting to come to work in Canandaigua, or if you're a teen coming from Malden that's going through the city's program, you have to go through this program because we want to make sure that, one, you're trained in a way that's effective and appropriate for the setting that you're going to be in, and two, that you really want to be here and you really want to, this is something you want to do for the summer.
So you think, and it worked out well for you. So you've seen results.
It's worked out very well because I think it brings a level of experience that the kids may have not had before, and so just like you said earlier, the kids, some of the teens realize, gosh, you know what, this really isn't for me, and that's totally okay, and that's part of the process, giving them the kind of experience where they are allowed to kind of find where they belong and where their where their best attributes kind of fly. So and that's what we're hoping to do for the kids.
Yeah, I'm hoping that if you found, I don't know how many years you've been doing it, but if someone checks off they want to work with kids, do they usually finish the program, or do you have a lot of dropouts?
And that's the other thing. Some kids, they know the first minute as they walk in, I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some kids, I would say the 80 to 90% of anyone who starts does finish. And it's because we, at the same time they're being evaluated, they're also being given a level of experience, especially from folks like myself who have years of experience in summer camp, doing summer camps, along with other counselors that have prior experience at the Y, prior experience at other summer camps, and just it's kind of hard to put all those in one place and get that kind of training and that kind of experience, and then get it for free on top of that.
Okay.
It's a very good experience. So most kids finish all from start to finish. Yeah.
Okay. And the age, just quickly, I want to get
Sure.
in.
No, absolutely. The age is actually 16 and up. So anyone who is 16 and up, city or otherwise, can come to the Malden YMCA. It's free. You can sign up at any point in time and sign up for the session that works best with your schedule.
Okay. And also, I think that we were offering up to our supervisors or to the people that are like on our team and on the committee. I think you're gonna have some help there. I mean, are you gonna do this by yourself?
No, I'm gonna be with myself and a couple of counselors who I've personally trained and evaluated and felt that they're eligible to kind of execute this kind of programming. So it's going to be about 3 people going over the 50 or so that are going to go through the session each week.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be a pretty rigorous process.
Great. Well, looks like our time's just about up, and I want to thank you so much for doing this and all that you do, and the YMCA, what they do for our community, and for allowing their space and for you to help us train on this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll be talking with Manjula Karamchetty from the Malden High School. With someone I have been lucky enough to work with in my role at the mayor's office, Manjula Karamchetty, who is, I need a deep breath for this, the Director of Guidance, Testing, and Academic Support for the Malden Public Schools. Correct. It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful,
Yes.
Absolutely.
So welcome, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Very exciting.
I know there are lots that you do at Malden High School, but we've been working together on Malden's Promise. But if you want to briefly tell us what your job is as the director, and then we'll go into a little bit about Malden.
Okay, absolutely. So as the Director of Guidance, Testing, and Academic Support, I do a lot of different things. But mainly what I do is I work with the guidance staff at the middle schools, which is grades 5 through 8 at all our K-8 schools, and I work with the high school guidance staff to really just make sure that students have access to pretty much everything they need to be successful academically, but also to explore careers, and that their social emotional well-being is taken care of. So that looks like a lot of different things, between helping kids pick classes for, high school. We were just recently working with the 8th graders on course selection when they go to 9th grade. We had parent night on Monday night with Principal Dana Brown, kind of just letting 8th grade families know what the high school is like, those kinds of things. We host a lot of events for students and families around career exploration and college search. The guidance department handles like the college admissions process.
And the FAFSA, there was something I
Yep, the
worked with you on that
FAFSA,
was,
financial aid. So, we do a financial aid event in January to help families complete that, because it's really stressful. So, really our overarching mission in the guidance department is to make sure that all students there's equity and access to information and resources so they can pursue their future path, whether that be college, career, the military. We want to just make sure that all students have access, so whatever their dreams are, they can achieve them.
That's great. Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
And
we have a great team of people who are working together.
You do.
So
I will tell you, I've told everybody else here, that's honestly has got to be the greatest thing, surprise of my job at the mayor's office, to be able to work really closely with the high schools and Malden's youth. It's been great. And last year you came to the mayor's office and you were asked the mayor for some support for Malden's part of our Mass Grad grant.
Yeah.
And so why do you think the city's involvement was important for this grant? And
Well,
what
so
is it?
okay. Well, so let me take a step back to just sort of explain. 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, Malden High School qualified to apply for this grant called Mass Grad. And the reason why we qualified to apply wasn't really a great reason. It was that we had a pretty high dropout rate in terms of other districts in the state. But the DESE really wanted to help schools figure out how to reduce the dropout rate. So we put together a team of people, and I just was the main facilitator, got people from the high school, people from the district in education, people from the community organizations like the YMCA, the YWCA, Housing Families, all sorts. And we really tried to work together to figure out, okay, if we had this grant, if we had this money, how would we really work on reducing the dropout rate? Well, we were lucky enough to get that grant. And I think part of it was because we do have such a great team of people working together who really believe in kids and youth development. So we got that grant, and over the past 2.5 years, we've actually been able to reduce our dropout rate to 2.2, which is under the state average now.
Good job.
Which is
Malden
so
High.
exciting.
Yes.
Absolutely. And what's interesting, a lot of the people that have spoken in this program before me were all a part of the work that we've been doing. And so the DESE actually offered another grant to those of us who were part of the Mass Grad Dropout Prevention Grant. And this was to build a coalition. And so again, we went to the mayor's office and said, hey, we'd really like to do this. We'd really like to apply. But this grant is really around doing things differently. It's about the city, the school department, and our community organizations really working together. And not just being at a meeting, kind of talking and leaving, but pooling knowledge, pooling information, pooling resources to do something that each organization couldn't do alone. And I think it was the perfect timing because Mayor Christensen is so invested in the youth in the city and really wants to make sure that all kids have opportunities. So he was right on board, and he designated someone in the mayor's office to be the point person, which was you. And then we also have someone on the community side, Renee Camerata Hamilton from the Cambridge Health Alliance, who sort of came on as the third person for us to build this coalition called Malden's Promise. And so, I mean, some of the nitty-gritty around Malden's Promise is we are a coalition that is really looking to continue to reduce the dropout rate. Our goal that we developed was half. That was actually before we got the 2.2 information.
That's gonna be a tough one.
So, but we, we believe we should have 0 dropouts in Malden, so we're going to work towards that. And so, and on top of that, not only to reduce the dropout rate, but to really increase our graduation rate as well. So we've been working collaboratively for the past few months to figure out sort of our strategies for doing this work. And I think what is most exciting is that all of us together, the city, the school department, and our community agencies, have developed this whole campaign around mentoring and supporting youth for their future plans that we're in the process of launching, as you know.
Yes, yes. Our meeting, actually, we have a meeting tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
To go over some of the details
Yeah.
about that. And I love the name, of course. We're going to call the mentors. We wanted to do something different, like you were saying, to do something different. They're graduation gurus.
Yep.
And
shining the light.
That's right. Exactly. And so what we're going to try and do, it's a campaign. So it's not a program. We want to be clear about that. It's a campaign throughout the city. Anyone can be a graduation guru.
Yep. They have to fill out an application, of course, first and go through an interview and, you know, checks and balances. But yes, anyone who's interested in positively developing support for youth in the city.
That's right. And what I liked about this is that the city and the schools and the community, like you said, came together, and we really worked hard on consensus building. I mean, do you think that that's what is making this successful?
I do. You know, I think because we spent so much time in the beginning really asking people sort of, you know, what organization they were representing, what important work needed to happen for them to be involved, really exploring sort of what the biggest issues are for youth in the city, and how we might work together to support them. Yeah, it's been tons of consensus building, and I think that's why everybody keeps coming back, because it's so important to hear other people's voices, to get perspectives, and
their knowledge.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, there are a lot of smart people on that coalition.
That's right. It's great. And there's about, I'm going to say maybe 30. What do you think?
Consistently, I think we get about 30 people representing different, you know, city, school, and community organizations.
And that was really to build what we were going to focus on. And through that coalition came about an interesting thing where we found what was like the biggest hindrance to kids graduating, and we hit on a couple of things. And one was mental health issues, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Whether it be their family,
Right.
themselves.
Yep.
And that was a little bit of a surprise to me, but not as much to you guys. Do you find that?
Yeah, it just, you know, the mental health pieces, if a student has a lot going on in their life outside of school, they don't check it at the door when they come into school. And whether that be, you know, mental health issues or, you know, family finances, sort of all those different kinds of things, it's really hard for students to concentrate in the classroom because they feel like they need to do other things, either to support their families or to get themselves healthy and feel safe. So collectively, between the city, the school, and the community, that's really one of the pieces that we wanted to explore and gather resources and share resources with everyone. So if adults encounter youth who are having mental health issues or trying to support someone else with a mental health issue, that we can make referrals and we can get people connected to the right agencies and the right support so they get help.
That's right.
And and that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. So I think that, you know, in wrapping this up, that we are still, you can come anytime to Malden's
absolutely.
Promise. We do send out some emails, but you can contact me or Manjula and find out how to be on this campaign that we're going to be having a kickoff very soon, probably in May, and you'll all hear more about it. So I want to thank you so much, Manjula, for coming here.
It was great to be here. Thank you so much.
And bringing all these great programs to Malden. welcome back. Our final guest of the evening is, well, we're still here with Manjula. Thank you very much for staying on. And we have Alan Delva, who, and I did say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. From Malden High School, who was one of our summer youth employment employees that we had here. So thank you for coming on tonight,
You're welcome.
Alan. And can we start out about telling, how did you find out about this program last year? Do you remember?
Yeah, actually, Judy Bushi, my mayor, my neighbor,
Right. That's right.
gave me the application, all my friends in the neighborhood, and she told us to apply.
Ah, good for Judy. Spreading the word. I like that. That's
Yep.
right. And so you went through the whole process. You did your, you filled out the application. Did you write your personal statement?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. And so where were you placed last year? Like, I don't know.
I was in the mayor's office. I was putting parking ticket data into the computer, and I also helped up in the human resource department.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We kind of had you moving
All over the place.
around a little bit, which was great. Actually, you were so good at being able to just kind of switch
Yeah.
gears, and you know, and that was really you know, a good thing to have, especially an employee. So, did you learn anything there, like that? That you'd say would help you working in the future?
Definitely. I learned how to be responsible, learn things on my own, and not rely on others.
That's great. Yeah, you were definitely a
Yeah.
self-starter. Did you ever go down into the clerk? Remember we used to tease and don't Karen Anderson.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
yeah. We used to say when almost as a punishment, but not really. Filing, because the filing and you have to stay very focused. It's tedious.
Standing.
That's right.
It's very
But you
hard.
have to be very focused and be able to do that. So. But you did a great job of that.
Yeah.
And surprise, we have Corey Malone with us. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you had something else to do, so I really appreciate you running over here. Actually, what were you doing over at Malden High School?
I was actually in the play right now. MHTV is actually filming there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the play?
Marcus. It's
Oh.
a student-written play.
Wow.
Play production.
So, was there a play actually going on there, or were you practicing?
Oh no, it was our last performance of the year.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for running over here. That's excellent of you. I thought it was practice. So, wow, you're really dedicated. So, actually, Corey, I'm glad you're here because I wanted to talk to you about Jose Mendez was on before, and he was talking about how important it is to train kids who are going to be working with kids. Alan was placed in a business type of a role, but you were placed in, I don't think with any prep, right? Over in the Linden working with kids.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, what was that job like, and who did you work for?
Oh my God.
I mean, not the name of the, but was it a camp? I can't remember exactly what.
It was like a school program. I worked with the PACE program, and
That's right.
I got to work with 6 wonderful children with autism, and
Yeah.
it was life-changing.
Yeah.
It was the best experience of my life. I can honestly say that.
I love that. I know that. I remember that because you told us that after you were placed there, and I think it always stuck with me because it was just a great thing. That you're an example of exactly what we want to happen. And I don't think we gave you a heads up. I might have called you. I did give you a brief heads up phone call that you're going to be working with some special needs kids, and you thought you could handle it.
Yeah.
So was it anything like you thought it was going to be working?
No,
Yeah.
I thought going into it, I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect, but they were they were amazing. They were so much fun. They were little angels.
Yeah, that's great. And what were your hours there? Do you remember? Did you have were you working every day?
I think it was Monday through Thursday, 8 to about 3 every day.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
And you were over at the Linden.
Mhm.
And what were you with? Was it the same schedule? Did
Yeah,
you have
about 8 to
different-
3. It was really flexible. I could really choose my hours, but most of the day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 3.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. That's
Right.
right. Because you guys are in the 16 and above, right? So you were able
Yeah.
to do 20 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you fill out an application for this year?
Yeah, I already filled
Okay.
it out.
Did you fill
I'm
it
not.
out?
I'm doing it online.
Okay, excellent. So when you do, and if you answer, I don't know if you answered the question, yes, I'd like to work with children, but this year we're having something new. So I was wondering if you did that, if you filled out that you'd like to work with kids, was it surprising to get this email, which I'll tell you now, because if you haven't filled it out yet, this year we're having a training program for anybody working with kids. one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here is to see, did you, if that would have been helpful for you last year. I know that you jumped right in and you were great about, just getting in there. But there's a program this year that we're going to be running out of the YMCA, and Jose was here explaining it. Anyone who's working with kids this year is going to get extra training, and they're going to be trained on, what kind of activities that you would run through and how you would work with the kids. Do you think that would be helpful?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Last jumping right into it, it was like crazy, but it was fun regardless. But yeah, training would definitely help.
Will help. And you would get a certificate at the end of the training, so that's something that you could put on your resume. So it's, we didn't want it to feel like to the kids that we were making them jump through an extra hoop or anything, it really is going to be better in the long run, and you could also put that on your resume and you'll have a certificate on there. So, Alan, for what would you say if you could change anything? And hopefully it's nothing, because we are out of time, and I want to thank you both for coming out here, and thank you, for the great job you did last summer. You're welcome.
Get out of the dock and into the zone.